Welcome back. It is time for Corner Table. That's our exclusive theater review segment. It features legendary critic John Simon as well as actor and director Justin Brown. Simon wrote for New York Magazine for more than 35 years. He's also written for the New York Times, the Washington Post, and a host of others. Tonight they look at a new musical called The Prom.
Hello, Corner Table friends. Hey, John.
Hi.
How you doing tonight?
Pretty well, thank you.
Loving that. So tonight we're talking about The Prom. It is a new musical. It's essentially a musical comedy playing at the Longacre Theater. Let's talk about it. John, what are your thoughts?
Well, I enjoyed it. Without being overly critical, without being expecting too much, which I haven't from recent musicals. Almost none of them seem to have much of a music. This one almost has music to recommend it, but it's not a great musical for all that. However, it does have good actors, it has good staging, it has good costuming. You can enjoy it without expecting excessively quality from it. And I had a good time with it.
It's a very feel-good show. To give you guys a little background on it, some obscure little town in Indiana, this girl comes out as gay, and she gets told she can't go to prom. So that's, in essence, what the show is about.
But that's only one plot. There are also
right, there's a million other things. But I think ultimately what I enjoyed about this was it was a new group of people who obviously love musicals, love making them, are good at making them. Coming into a Broadway house with Broadway actors, no necessary big names coming into this, and just an honest, feel-good, genuine performance by people who love what they do.
Yes.
It's like a Broadway show by Broadway people for a Broadway audience, which is nice to see when we're not getting to really see that these days.
That's right. I think more could have been done with certain aspects of it, but what there is pretty good enough. The various kids about whom it is essentially are not all that interesting and are not given that much chance to be interesting. The three main characters, who are sort of second-rate actors who had a big career, who are now desperate to find some way to make up for the fact that they're turning old and turning stale.
Right.
So they go to this little Indiana town and they play with the kids there.
To make themselves look good.
To make themselves good, and they do look good.
They do look good. I mean, let's talk about 5 seconds really quick. Let's talk about Beth Level. I mean, how wonderful it is to see her get some material right now that she can really sing, that she can lean into, that she can be comedic.
She's a good actress.
She's kind of getting to work on a show that I think probably since Chaperone is really playing to her strengths for the first time.
Yes, and it does well by the other two main characters as well.
Yes, we've got Brooks.
Brooke Ashmanskas.
Who is hilarious.
I think he's one of the funniest actors in New York. He is extremely funny, and he makes this show much more than it actually is by his mere presence and his ability and his charm and his wittiness.
I agree. I think that there's something to say about getting to see people's joy shine through. Yeah. And I firmly believe that the people doing this show that have put together this show love it. And getting to see people revel in that and share that with their audience is a very special and unique experience that I don't think always happens. But with that said, it's very preachy. And when you have a preachy show, I think that you run the potential of a short run. I don't think that shows that preach too much have longevity on Broadway, because I think that they sometimes lack a level of creative stamina, because they rely a lot back on education, if that makes any sense.
Well, there could have been more.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough to fully grab me. On the other hand, I was not bored, and I'm grateful for that these days.
Right. I think it's one of the few shows, especially new musicals, in my opinion, this season, that is worth the see.
Yeah, well, I would have hated to see it without Brooks Ashmanskas.
Agreed.
He made it for me.
Yeah. Well, Corner Table friends, we're going to wrap up with you tonight. Thank you so much.
And that is all the time we have for tonight and for this week here on RFL. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here Monday night at 6 p.m. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.